I've been trying to add a motion capture to a rigged animation character for a while now, and I just wasn't sure how. But I'm persistent, and I finally figured it out. And sharing is caring, so here we go. This video is sponsored by ROKOKO, and with that, they're offering 10% off for my subscribers. That is you guys. If you use the code on screen right now, you get about $250 off of their smart suits. Now, I know a couple of you guys have been asking for this, asking for these codes. I've been waiting for them, so this is for you. But enough about ROKOKO, we'll talk about them a little bit later. For now, let's hop into Blender. To add mocap to your animation rig, you first need mocap. So for this, we're gonna be using ROKOKO Studio. I'm gonna go ahead and go to their motion capture section where we have several options. So ROKOKO has some free options. They also have some paid ones, but the paid ones are usually around $3. Some go for $6. So you won't break bank when you're trying to purchase these. But there are also some free options and some other options as well, like Mixamo, where you can download your motion capture. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna be using the ROKOKO motion library. So let's see if we can find something that we like. All right, so I think this one here looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and double click on this. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to cart and confirm purchase order. All right, purchase successful, library. And here's the list of other stuff that I've had previously, but this is what we just downloaded. So, okay, I'm going to import this to, let's say, my sample project. And then once we go back to our dashboard, we go to sample project. Okay, so let's right click on this, export, make sure it's on FBX. We don't really want face because we don't have face animation. We don't need body mesh, we just need the skeleton because we already have our own rig. Let's leave this on binary, FBX, and I'm going to leave this on human IK, Maya human IK. We'll see if that works. If not, we can adjust it later, but let's export it for now. Let's choose where. Okay, we got our target, press export. All right, so now we're opening up Blender. I'm gonna go to File, Import, Open FBX, and here's the FBX file we exported. And as you guys can see, it looks a little weird because all of the joints are pointing upwards, and that's not really what we want. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo this. We're gonna go to File again, Import FBX. This time in Armature, I'm going to make sure that automatic bone orientation is checked. So now I'm going to re-import this, and there we go. All the joints are in place where they're supposed to be. I'm gonna go ahead and move this bad boy over just so we make room, because this is just step one. So for step two, we need an animation rig. We need a character that's rigged to be animated. And for this, we're gonna be using Max. Max is one of the characters currently being rigged for our upcoming Blender animation course to animate. Poor guy still doesn't have a facial rig, but since we don't have facial animation, it works great for this case. All right, so let's go ahead and go into pose mode. Let's make sure everything's working correctly. All right. So key thing here is that we want the character's arms to be in FK because our animation is in FK. The animation, the mocap that we got. And same with the feet. So right now the feet on Max are in IK. We don't want that. So let's go ahead and switch this. I'm going to go to Max's UI, make sure that the bar is all the way at FK. Same for this foot. The bar is all the way at FK. And I am going to turn on FK legs, turn off IK legs, and give it a spin, see if it's working. Yep, and our knee controller. Yep, looks good. Everything's in FK. All right, next step. I am going to, let's go to object mode. Select this reference character. And so he's a little bit underground. Let's bring him up a little bit and match it best we can. Okay. And I'm actually gonna scale him up a bit just so he matches Max's height. And I think that's okay. Now, so here's the animation that we have right now. And for us to retarget this animation onto Max, we have to use a tool. We can't just magically do it. There is some paid tools, I think the Auto Rig add-on, which I'll have on screen right now probably. I know that this does the job, but in our case, we're gonna be using the ROKOKO plugin for Blender. Now this thing's awesome because it does what AutoRig does with retargeting, and it's made to work perfectly with ROKOKO, and it's actually faster. It like applies the animation much faster. But let me go ahead and log in. So once you're logged into your ROKOKO account, you have access to all this stuff, but we don't need Studio Live. We don't need this one. What we need is the retargeting. So let's go ahead and select the source, which is our animation. Then let's go ahead and select the target, which is our rig, our new rig. So max rig and then our reference. Next step is to build a bone list. So this is where it gets a little nitty gritty. What you have to do is make sure that all the joints of your skeleton, of your mocap, match up with Max's controllers. So you can do this, you have to do this manually pretty much, because what it gave you isn't very good. There is maybe 3 controllers that correctly retarget it, but the tool is there for you to manually retarget it, and it doesn't take more than like 5 minutes. You can check, for example, so let's go to pose mode. You can check that this is the left arm on our mocap, and then we can come to max and see where the left arm is. So the left arm for max, the left arm for max is actually called upper arm FK left. And then we can check one by one. Let's go here. For this character, this is called the left forearm. And on max, that same controller is called forearm underscore FK. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly replace these. So so if it's left up leg, I'm gonna look up what Max's left leg is called and replace it with that. I'll give you an example and then I'll do it really quickly. So left up leg for Max is called thigh FK left. Easy as that. I went ahead and retargeted everything. I did skip out on the fingers just because the motion capture we have doesn't actually have finger animation, so there's no need to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that auto scale is on, and let's have it at the current pose. Since they're both in a T pose, you want it to be in the exact same pose. So we have it at current, and I have the option to save this now, so I don't have to redo this the next time I import an animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and press save. Let's press retarget animation and pray and hope that it doesn't blow up. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we have something like this. Okay, it's pretty good. You know, you see some flaws, like the shoulders being like all the way up like this, but again, I'll show you guys how to fix this. But I couldn't get those results like 2 months ago. I really wanted to do this, and I'm so happy right now. I am so happy. This is great. Now let's show you guys how to actually fix this up. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to our frame 1, which is our T pose. At this point, we can really delete the reference because the animation is actually baked onto our controllers. So we can control this with our controllers, and you don't have to go in and touch the bone and whatnot. We have the animation controllers right there. It's keyed, it's baked on top of those. So to fix this, we're actually gonna use the animation layers. This is something I covered in my last video. It's a new add-on that we found out about. So I'm gonna turn on animation layers, and we're in pose mode for Max, so we can press add animation layer, and right away we have a base layer where our base animation is in, and then we have a new layer where we can add new animation, and there's no keys anywhere. So let's go ahead and on this new layer, let's go ahead and bring, oh, we don't have auto key. Let's make sure auto key is on. So we're gonna go ahead and bring these down to a normal level, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to here, make sure everything's zeroed out, make sure rotation is zeroed out. Same with this, zeroed out, rotation zeroed out. As you guys can see, okay, I'm not gonna make the same mistake again. As you guys can see, there we go. There's a single key here. There isn't like a line of keys because we're on this new layer. We're on the animation layer. And when we play this, we keep that. So the shoulders aren't going up into his face anymore. And this is where we can add any sort of additional animation without having to deal with this atrocity, you know, without having to go like adjust these. you can actually go to this new layer and let's say, oh, the arm is a little wonky here. So let me select the arm controller and move this back and bring this, rotate it this way a little bit and bring the arm a little bit more this way because it's breaking, and boom. That's so cool. I love it, I love it. So let's say we want the character to be looking forward. We can go ahead and with a single key, have the character looking more forward. There we go. I love it, I love it. It's so cool to me. So this is a beautiful way to actually implement mocap and character animation. So I hope this helped. I hope you're still watching. If you did, you're gonna enjoy some bloopers at the end. Make sure to check out To Animate if you're interested in the Blender animation course. We won't be using mocap for that. We'll be actually animating the characters and learning actual proper animation. Make sure to check out To Animate. I want to give a huge thank you to my beautiful Patreons. Thank you guys so much for your continuous support of this channel. Remember the code on the screen right now if you want 10% off of mocap, a motion capture suit. It's the most affordable motion capture suit on the market. I say affordable, but it's $2,500. But when you compare it to the competitors that are $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, it's affordable. Anyways, with all that out of the way, happy animating, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But I'm persistent like a middle-aged woman who ordered medium rare steak but got medium. That is terrible. Are you done?